This is your boy DJ Leon D, and on this channel we talk about travel, money, and lots of cooking. Three things I know quite a bit about. I'm not an expert at anything. Nope, not an expert. I just been around a long time and know a lot. Let's get it on. This is your boy DJ Leon D. I'm here to tell you about the newest thing I did. I had a catering event and I cooked 600 whole. No, let me go back. I cooked 600 jumbo whole wings. They're flat and the drum together. They were jumbo. These chickens must have ate an alligator or a horse. They were big as hell. And I did it by myself. And the only thing I was not proud of is that I got to come up with a better way of spritzing a lot of meat. Now, I've cooked 300 or 400 of these same wings from Restaurant Depot at one time. Not a problem. You go through a lot of pains and other kind of stuff. But 600 is a whole new ball game. I had the Timberline, the Ironwood, the Pro 34, and I had the 22, the Pro 22. I had, and I couldn't use I couldn't use the Master Build, and I couldn't use the Camp Chef, so I used a Louisiana grill. I couldn't use the other two because I used them for only other types of meat. I've never put chicken on them, so I don't use them for chicken. Now, it was one hell of a challenge because I was trying to do it all at one time. But I did get 400 on the grills I just mentioned. Now, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. The Timberline and the Ironwood are your beast. In this round, they won. Now, my beast, my go-to grill, that's a flat-out beast, price-wise, everything, is the Pro 34. The Pro 22 is not bad, but there's no rack space. I mean, there's no space to cook at. That I use that when I come home. I want a quick lunch. That's all that's for. Now, the Louisiana grill don't hold heat very well. No. Because it's not well insulated. It's not a well-built grill. It's a well-built grill if you're cooking in 85 degrees. Because the temperature variation is not going to be that big deal. I was cooking in 48 degrees with a wind of about 20. So it felt like it was like 35 degrees, maybe 38 degrees. It felt, I was right in the open wind. And I'm going to tell you why the Timberline and the Ironwood are a beast in this situation. But the Pro 34 did a great job. I'm going to tell you the downside to that, to the Pro 34. The Timberline wins and the Ironwood wins, but the Timberline came out number one because of the installation. The insulation, it holds the temperature great, but the way it's designed, the heat dissipates throughout the grill equally. So when I put all the food on that Timberline around 1 o'clock, about 1:45, when the first piece of chicken was done, about 3 or 4 minutes later, the last piece of maybe 150 wings was done. So they were all done within 5 minutes of one another. And that could be because when I put the first one on, I put that on 5 minutes before I put the last one on. The Ironwood was the exact same way. Because the Ironwood, really, the new Ironwood is the old Timberline. The new Ironwood is what Traeger's pushing out on everybody. So that was kind of cool when everything got done the same time on both of those grills. Now, one was 1,300 inches. Let me tell you about that. It's like believing a guy. It ain't big as they say it is. Now, So one was 1,300 inches. I mean, the timberline, and the ironwood was 850 inches. I measured the gaps and the free space I had on my timberline and ironwood, and you might be having 1,100 usable inches. 1,100 usable inches, because you got gaps between things. They're giving you the grate measurement. Well, unless you put a coat of batter over the entire grate, you're never going to be able to use every single inch. But it's still a good size. I mean, it's the biggest on the market for pellet grills right now. It's the biggest on the market for store-bought commercial pellet grills. You won't find many bigger. I don't know of any bigger, to be honest about it, that's made for the home market. The Timberline 850, I use a good 675 of that because I had my chicken stacked. You look at the pictures, you'll see they were stacked. I had very little gap between any of them, and I measured the gaps. So I said, let me just measure, see what I'm going to get. Now, my beast, the Pro 34, why it did not win was simple. The heat doesn't propagate evenly throughout the whole chamber like it does the timberline and the ironwood. No, the heat doesn't. The heat doesn't do that. And one thing I do, and you people need to do this. I know my cold spots and my hot spots on all my smokers, on all of them, because when I first buy them, I crank them up to 300. I take a thermometer, I touch and see what temperature is in each corner. Because the center is always going to be the warmest, because that's where the heat's coming from. Then it hits the plate and it sends it around the whole chamber. So with the Pro 34, they said do that, but the difference from the left side to the right side was about 10 to 12 degrees. So I knew that the ones on the right side were going to finish first. Now, one way you can avoid that is to, when you rotate them, just rotate them. Some people do that. When you flip them on the other side, just move from left to right, left to right. That's complicated, because when you do that, you pick something up on the right or left, whichever one you want to do first, depends on your grill. You got to have space on the other side. That's not going to happen. You're going to find yourself doing more work than you ever thought you'd be doing. So I flip them and leave them where they are. And as I take off the right side, I just slide the left on down, because now I got space over there. So no need to be an all day thing. So that's why my beast, my true beast, which is the Pro 34 and the 780, which is the same, but because I'm not into the Wi-Fi or stuff, I use it every now and then, but it's not a game changer for me. It's not a game. I like something that when I turn it on, it's gonna work every single time without any issues. So that's why I like the Pro 34. Now, the Louisiana grill. No, I look at those products, by that particular company that owns about 8 different models, not even models, 8 different brands, and to me they're kind of like a coupon book. You buy a coupon book, it's a joke. You spend $50 on it, and you might get $20 of stuff you really want on it, in the book, because installation is not very, very good at all. No, it's not very good. And I really buy those with teenagers, because you know what? They don't know enough to know what's wrong and know what's good. All they know is that I got a smoker that I can invite a couple friends over and burn down my damn deck, or at least give it a shot. That's all they know. But because, they're not going to be in depth. They're not going to be like me and you. It ain't going to happen. So I have this video, that you're seeing is me with all those wings. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun work. So the key to having fun doing that you got to have the right equipment. And I've had the right equipment every year in my life, because when I buy a car, I buy it with all the options, but I never buy it brand new. Someone say, how can you get a car with all the options and it's never brand new? buy the general manager's car that he's driving around with. Because the general manager is going to have the top of the line car, and he's going to want to sell it because the car has no value, him driving it. And he will sell you their car, and their car is loaded. I've always done that. Never had a problem. And I pay a lot less than I did for brand new because now it's considered a used car, at least in the state of Maryland and in the state of Florida. So when you buy smokers, your cook time, one or two things are going to happen. When you buy smokers, you can set your cook time. But if you got a poorly insulated cooker or smoker, you're going to burn more pellets. If you got a well-insulated one, you're going to burn less pellets. But they both will cook 2 hours to 2 hours. It don't really matter. How much material you use in those 2 hours is what matters, because you got to go buy pellets or you got to go buy charcoal or whatever it is you want to use, wood. Because if your smoker or grill fight against the wind, guess who's going to win? Every single time. The natural elements will always win. People say, well, 2 hours, 2 hours. I measured each smoker, Camp Chef versus Traeger, who's going to win. The Traeger wins every time because of its superior installation. Food tastes the same, no big deal. But how many pounds and actually I had my pellets measured down to the ounce. Load them up in both of them. And, when I got done to 2 hours, took them all out, weighed them, Traeger used about 30% less. And that comes down to insulation. When you buy smokers, you get what you get. You get what you get. Now, like I said, the 600, whole chicken wings was a challenge. It was fun, but I did some experimenting around when I was doing that. And like I said, I did a lot more when I finished. But when I say installation, the best installation you're ever going to get on anything you cook, everybody knows it's going to be the green egg or a Komodo, or any type of the Komodo grills, because those things weigh 5,000 pounds, it seems. I helped a buddy move one up one floor on his deck. That was the workout for my life. It was about 300 pounds. No lie. But it's almost like using a pizza oven. Those things are so big and heavy, but all that is ceramic. That's all you're moving, ceramic. It's one of the kind of things that once you set it, it's set there for life. Because the installation is just, there's no way you're ever going to beat that. Now, Traeger with the ironwood and the Timberline, and there's some other brands too out there nowadays, because even Weber got a pellet grill. And I never thought I would see Weber would have one. But I'm glad, because I want to see competition in that area. A pellet grill, I'll be up front with you, it's like using an oven with smoke. Set it and forget it. That's the key thing that you got to realize. Set it and forget it. So, saying that, when you go out and buy these things, take somebody who know with you. Don't go by a name brand. Buy what you're going to use it for, and how much. I always bought functional things in my life. If it's not functional, I don't buy it. And when I buy it and it's functional, I buy quality. Because I promise you, like anything in life, when you go cheap, you're going to buy it more than once. The same thing. But you got to also buy what your budget can afford. We all got dreams, but at the same time, we all got bank accounts, and they don't always agree. They don't always agree. You see something you want, they don't always agree. So a lot of people say, hey, I want this, I want that. But the better you get, the better your equipment gets. That's how life works. When you first start, go out and buy something, something cheap. See how it turns out for you. If it don't turn out good, it don't turn out good. But guess what? Now you know your skill set. versus the equipment you're using. And sometimes it's just your skill set, not the equipment. So my whole point is, when I cooked all 600 whole chicken wings, that taught me a lot about the equipment I had. And it taught me a lot about equipment I didn't have. And what I realized, the equipment I didn't have, I didn't want. Because some of these things are real challenging, and you need to be the best. But no need to get the best if you're not trying to be the best. And see, that's where my ego plays in. Because cooking for me is second-handed, second nature. Not a big deal. Can do it. Can do it. But when you get a huge challenge, that's when you got to say, is my equipment ready to handle the challenge that my mind is? If my equipment ain't ready, and my mind is, it don't matter. But some of you go out and buy the equipment that's ready, and you're not. That's where you say, I wasted money because the equipment is better than me. No, I always want to be better than my equipment. I'm always looking to upgrade. That's just me, just how I live my life. When I buy something, I always say, okay, I maxed that, know how to do that. That's not good enough for me. But you can't go out and buy a Cadillac when you had a bicycle either. No, you can't do that. Because the bicycle may be all you need. But you buy a Cadillac because your mind is saying, I need the Cadillac. Your skill level is not there yet. But you can get there. Like anything in life, you just got to put in work. 99% of everybody on this earth can learn what they want to learn. If you shut your mind down, they're not going to learn how to be a better smoker or whatever. A lot of people look at YouTube all day long and they're broke. If I was broke, you know what I'm looking at YouTube? I may look at YouTube how to make money. I'm not looking at YouTube about being the next football star or a rapper or whatever. That's not going to happen. If that was going to happen, it would have happened. You can't be 40 years old I want to be a rapper. I want to release a diss track. Not at 40. At 20, you still got hopes and dreams. At 40, you should have a future and a career going. And if you don't have that, oh well, you deserve what you get. So my whole point is, I wanted this challenge, and it was interesting when I got done. It was interesting. It was so interesting. I took the grills, the smokers I'm not going to use, and didn't even show you pictures of those. I'm like, no, I want to show you the beast here I got here. I want to show you the challenge I got. And I cooked them the same day they were to be delivered to an event. I had a 4 o'clock time. But at the same time, I did ribs and other things for me and my friends. So that was a real challenge, because those are 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 hour cooks that I was doing. And I made a side dish, baked beans with beef in them. So I had a lot of things going on in one day, but I wanted this challenge, and I wanted to treat it like just another catering event. Now I've had huge catering events. I just didn't have that many of one thing that you got to manually flip. And you know what I did when I got done? The next day, cleaned my grills like I always do. Got them back spotless, looking good. I went out and bought me 10 chicken flippers. Each one can hold about anywhere from 18 to 20 chickens, wings. But I call them chicken flippers, but they actually got many other uses too, because you can use them for hamburgers and all kind of stuff. And then I got the 13-inch extended handles on them, so your hand or your wrist is not right over the fire. You really are a long ways from it. But I said, hey, listen, because I was flipping them one at a time. I said, now I got a buddy named Bazell. He had chicken flippers a long time ago, but they were small and I didn't see a need for them. And plus, we had done like 100, 200 wings. But when it's 2 or 3, you're doing all the work. you don't really realize it until you do it by yourself. And I said, now I know why I need all these. So now I got 10 of them, and I probably can do 180 of them. I can flip those things and do everything within probably a minute. And all the handles are removable, probably within a minute. It's a well worth the investment. And I just said, I should have been thought of this, because I seen them. I knew they had them. I just never knew I was going to need them. And until I got that challenge, I didn't think it would be that tough to do. And then I had about 3 hours to do all those wings. I must have spent 30 minutes putting them on the smoker, and probably 30 minutes taking them off. And then I had to deliver them hot. But that was the easy part. I got equipment to keep things hot. But, you're taking them off and you're putting them in a hot box and all the other stuff. But it was fun. But 600 wings. And now I'm ready with the new equipment I got. I'm ready to do a challenge of maybe 1,000. 600 didn't scare me. I just didn't know how much work it would be versus me doing a normal 200. Now, 1,000, bring it on. And boy, DJ Leon ready to do it. I've never had a fear of challenges because I learned so much at the end of the challenge. So the next time I get a challenge similar, you won't catch me underestimating what it's going to take to move a big old elephant out of the way. Not twice. If someone said 1,000, I would go out maybe some more chicken flippers because I had the capacity in my smokers. That was not the issue. And I knew that would not be an issue. And I said, worst come to worst, I would probably buy another smoker, but then it's eating into my profits. But I had alternatives, but I knew I had the space to cook all this stuff. Now, one thing about the 780 is that, the Pro 34, that's got about 780 square inches. You can use about 700, no problem at all. The way it's designed, you can use about 700. The Traeger Pro 34, out of the 780 square inches, there's no doubt you get about 700 useful. So percentage-wise, that was the most one with every single square inch was covered up with something. Every single square inch. So look at the video below and you'll see all the chicken I was cooking. You'll see me prepping the chicken. You'll see me putting it on the grill. You see me doing everything, all in a short amount of time. But it was a challenge, but it was fun as hell. This is your boy DJ Leon D. We'll talk in a minute.